Welcome to That Time I Got Arrested. And now, your host, B. Casper.
I'm coming up slowly. I'm high on emotion, with waves of this feeling as light as the ocean. And then I see you when I feel like I'm drowning. And then I see you. It's okay, I'm okay, it's okay, I'm okay again. It's okay, I'm okay, it's okay. Take me to that place where you always go when you sleep and all your day takes you oh so low. I just ran out of breath. Hi, Danny. I'll let you decide if you are going to keep that in or not. It's just for you. So what's up, guys? Hi. Hello. How have you been? It's been a week for you. Welcome back. Happy Spiritual Sunday. Let's get spiritual. It's only been about 8 hours for me. It is 3 in the morning. It's 2:47 in the AM, and it's 8 hours about ish from the last time that I recorded. And this is my life now. I sit in my kitchen and talk to no one. And it's okay because my apartment is actually haunted. So I am talking to several things, I think. So far, the ghosts seem very benevolent and peaceful. They don't seem interested in scaring me or making me feel uncomfortable. It just seems like we're inhabiting the same space at the same time and respecting each other, while doing so. If only humans could do the same, we could learn a lot from ghosts. If you guys don't understand the double entendre there, then I'm not actually sure if I can help you at all with anything. So, look, I will address it. I will address it now because it's been 3 weeks and I'll have had a chance at this point to talk to James and explain to him personally why I've decided to change it up a little bit. And it's not about him. My first producer was really controlling and I thought I needed him and he did a lot of work to make me sound very polished and I appreciate that. I definitely think that I wouldn't be where I am right now if it wasn't for his help, but he was an asshole and he sucked and he was hard to work with. James is wonderful. I can't say enough good things about him as a person or like people of comedy or his work and what he does in general. But, your baby girl's getting a little older. So it's just time for me to have more control, have more freedom, have more autonomy. And really, it's all about what I want it to be now. And I don't need anyone else's input or, presence or advice or really anything. I just need you, babe. I just need you to listen. And Danny, and I need Danny. Danny is my new editor. He is helping me out because I cannot turn a computer on and I have to, excuse me, burp. If you could take that out, Danny, I'd really appreciate it. Because I don't know, or you could leave it in. I actually don't know. Sometimes people are like not into the burps and then sometimes people are into the burps and it's just like you can't win them all, You just can't. So it's only 8 hours. So obviously I'm still sad about this boy. I spent most of the day staring at a wall and doing nothing, trying to muster up the energy and emotional bandwidth that I need to hop back in here and talk to you about what I'm about to talk to you about, which is, I don't know. I don't have any notes. I don't have any plans. I guess I want to talk about comedy. That seems kind of uninteresting to me at the moment. I just got out of the tub. I just had sex. I'm a sex addict and I had sex with someone I didn't like. And that happens to me a lot when I get in these moods where I'm just like so desperate to be touched or to feel something that isn't what I am always experiencing, which is some kind of grief or sorrow or pain or discomfort. So I use sex as a tool to cope. And, my friend Jordy says I use it as a weapon. And, maybe she's not wrong, but maybe the weapon is really against myself. And I had sex with a person that was like gross to me, but I like needed it. Have you ever done that? Is that weird? I feel like me admitting that makes me gross to other people. Sometimes people I want to have sex with. And occupational hazard. I'm going to die alone. That's okay though, right? I guess I just have to get okay with that, really. The fact that we collectively are always alone, and we are never alone, and we are all each other. And it's getting harder for me to connect with people that don't see that don't have that experience. And that means that I'm, losing friends, and that's hard too. It's really hard for me to lose people. It's like a physical pain that I feel, and it just sort of reignites every feeling of grief and loss and abandonment and attachment that's unhealthy and painful for me. So it's just like I relive it every time I lose someone. It just feels like, every time a guy breaks up with me, it's basically like my mom dies. It's just like fun for them, really. Totally appropriate reaction for someone you were seeing for a month. Not even. So I could get into, what this episode should be about is all of the mistakes that I made in comedy when I first started, maybe to help someone help themselves. If you're a woman and you're thinking about starting comedy, just don't do everything that I did. And then you'll actually do really good. Because I wish there would have been some kind of tutorial, some kind of article. Maybe I should have tried a little harder. I'm sure there was a class I could have taken. But no one explains to you truly what the social dynamics of being a comedian are, and how closely intertwined that is with your success as a commercial comedian. So it's your ability to make money, to progress, to receive opportunities is entirely like a Lord of the Flies social experiment that is your high school nightmare recreated in your 20s, 30s, 40s. You're all different ages. Just like high school, just a little bit. You're all in a different age bracket, but you're, an archetype. You're a generalization. You're a target. You are fresh meat. You're a new kid on the block, new in town. Hey, new in town. Hey, when you start comedy, you're new in town and everyone hates you and thinks you're a fucking idiot and you're taking something from them. So really fun, embracing, wonderful group of people to, link up with for sure. Polar opposite of finding a tribe of hippies and going to music festivals and taking psychedelics for 10 years. Polar opposite. So it's just I've talked about this so much, but going into comedy was like walking through the mirror in the looking glass, because my whole world was upside down and was just so different. The people were different. And then it was kind of I realized how different I was and how much I responded to energy and to other people's behavior, because I would sort of act the same way that people would act towards me. So if someone was cold towards me, I would be cold towards them. And if someone was warm towards me, then I'd be warm towards them. And it just so happened I only was around hippies for 10 years. So I thought that I was just always a warm person. But in fact, I'm a fucking psycho bitch if you're rude to me, And I just regressed incredibly back to the type of person that I was in high school, which was insecure and afraid and really uncomfortable and felt like I had to hide. So it was like I started comedy and immediately all of this like, oh, I am more of myself now that I've died, like kind of went away. Like I didn't even want anyone to know that I died. I had bangs so no one could see the scar on my head. It was like I never talked openly about jumping off of a building. I never told anyone I went to jail right away. I just wore my work clothes, which were like normcore. At this point, I had a new job and I was working in a hospital and I was in a clinical setting and I was wearing like business casual and I wore glasses and like ballet flats and a lot of like neutral colors, which is just weird for me in general. But that was who I was at that point in time. And that's who I was when I started comedy. And that's who I was when I started making all these mistakes. So you just heard about the first open mic that I went to. I was kind of like high off of it, I guess. I treated it like a drug, but it was really more of the social aspect. I was just like, wow, there are people here. I was so fucking lonely and like just really had nothing to lose. And I think that that's what happens to most comedians. Like that's why most people try stand-up comedy when they go to an open mic for the first time. It's because they are so fucking lonely, desperate to feel something, and have nothing to lose. It's very similar to like what an alcoholic feels when they hit rock bottom and like go to an AA meeting for the first time. Like that's the vibe of doing open mic comedy, because you don't start like you're anyone. You're nothing. You're no one. You're garbage. You're a fucking idiot, loser, asshole who shouldn't even open their mouth to speak, but you're an open mic comic. Oh, good times. Just kidding. I hated it. No, actually, it was better. It was better than doing dabs all night alone and watching Vice News and being depressed about the world. Like it was better than that. It was better than the unlimited, unflinching, like uninterrupted pain that I was in constantly from all of the metal in my body, and the fact that I had done no physical therapy and was taking no medication and was basically just like toughing it out in like the most elegant, graceful way that I guess a human being can. Thank you to that human being who reached out to me today and just told me how graceful I am and handling things, which I think is a hilarious thought, but it's quite flattering and sweet. So I'll take it. Thank you. Also, there's this girl that I really need to say something about real quick. Her name is Emily. And so far, I think we've only talked on Instagram. I don't think we've exchanged phone numbers quite yet. However, I love her. And I do feel like if I don't even know if I should say this because it's going to sound weird. I was going to be like, if I never had a mother, but I mean, I exist. So I did have a mother, but I didn't really have one, but I did in a way, but like, she is very motherly to me, and I'm pretty sure she's younger than me, but she's like so sweet, just so sweet, so warm, so forgiving, so understanding, so compassionate, so gentle. So kind. So kind. So kind. Thank you. Thank you for your grace, people think I'm graceful. It's like, they have not met this girl, Emily. Okay. So I made all the mistakes. My second night out doing comedy, I went to the same bar. I went back to Gallery Cabaret, and I met this guy who was bartending, who was also a comedian. He's like, "What are you doing here?" And I'm like, "I'm waiting for the open mic." And he's like, "That's at this bar. It's not at this bar." And I was like, "What? You do it at different bars, different nights? What? It's not at the same place every time? What?" There actually was an open mic there that night, but it was for music. So he told me what bar to go to. I went to that bar. I did my second set, which, didn't go much better than the first, but I was learning. I was learning by trying, by doing, by attempting to develop something, and I was really learning a lot by watching and by seeing how people structured their jokes and their sentences and their punchlines. And I was learning the rhythms and the beats. And even though it was only my second time, I was just like, I can do this. Like, I can do this. I can do this better than most of these people. Like, these people don't even know what they're doing. I can do this. That's what I thought. And it's funny that I could even think for a second that is a unique thought. That's literally how everyone feels when they first start. They all feel like, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. Because you're watching everyone else suck. And you suck too. But it's like you think for some reason at your rock bottom, lonely, desperate, needing to feel something, connected, disconnected, AA meeting with alcohol, that you can do it. And maybe that's why comedy is so important to some people, because for the first time in their lives, they're like, I can do something, because all you do is get up and do it, and then you've done it, and then you are a comedian. And whether it goes well or not well, you did it. You did it, and you still get to call yourself a comedian after all that. And and then that feels like an identity shift where you have a privilege and you are separate and somehow elevated than every other person that you interact with. Gosh, this mic. Having a hard time with this mic, you guys. I am not a professional. I don't know how to do this alone. Danny? No, he's not here. But you think that you can't do anything, but really you can do everything. Actually, this is fucked up. And I will do an episode about this eventually when I'm able. But so I used to date Lauren Ashton when I was really young. And he told me something that his dad told him, because when I met him, I was like 17 and he was 32. And he told me that his dad told him that he could do anything, but he can't do everything. But the thing is, you can do anything. You can actually do, you can't do everything, but you can do anything. And by just doing it, then you are it. You're doing it. You can be a DJ if you fucking download Ableton. You can be a comic if you go to an open mic. Ja feel? So my second night out, I went to this other bar after I mistakenly went back to the first one. And it was, what was it? Three dead moose. And I did my set there, and there was like a more well-known comedian who hosted it. And she was like super rude to me. And, I was new. And I just I remember that. I remember starting and then just this feeling of being like unwelcomed and unwanted. And sort of, it's like it was that sorority girl vibe where it's just like, what are you doing here? Like, you don't belong. You are not one of us. Like, you can't sit with us. You can't sit with us. That is like Oh my God, that's like the mantra of like comedians. You can't sit with us. Like that's their whole thing. It's because they all hate themselves and they feel so bad about who they are as people because most of them are awful, evil, insidious bastards. And because they're so awful, you know, they can think of terrible things and figure out a way to make them sound palatable. You know, I have a joke about how I have 12 abortions and it's like my best joke. Please don't listen to my set on Spotify. It's not good. So I did my set and the girls were mean to me. The one girl that was there was mean to me. And there was a guy there and I mean, I don't know anyone, you know, most of the comics like left afterwards and I just kind of sat at the bar and he offered to buy me a drink and he was kind of cute and I was just like, okay, you're a person. And he's talking to me about comedy and he's making me feel like he has intention to respect me as a human being and my ideas and opinions as a person. And I was like, okay, great, this is cool. I understand how friendship works. And he bought me a couple more drinks. And then we went to a second bar and I was being pretty obnoxious because I don't really drink. And so like at that point, like 3 drinks in, I was like drunk. And, you know, it's like, it's not like he did anything like weird or inappropriate per se, but we left this bar and then he like kissed me and I really didn't want him to. And he did, and I kissed him back because I was drunk and I felt awkward. And that was my second night doing comedy. And I never saw that comic again. I literally never saw him again. But I do feel 100% like that was just the beginning of like the cycle of like predatory nature that is just the inherent trade-off that you are accepting if you're a woman and you are deciding to join that group of people, is that you are going to be objectified, sexualized, oppressed, abused, manipulated, used, and you know, just sort of torn down piece by piece, limb by limb, you know? Typical patriarchy shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's like really all that comedy is, unfortunately. It's all that it is. With just a mask on it. Just like fame and success and celebrity and money and power. It's all this like dark shit where you're stepping on someone to get what you want. And this guy didn't step on me. Really, you know, he wasn't like forceful. He wasn't rude. He wasn't like creepy, but he was a stranger and I was brand new and he knew that. And I was drunk and he knew that. And he kissed me and I was like, don't. And he did. And then I was so drunk, I kind of kissed him back for like 5 seconds and then pushed him away. And I was like, okay, that's enough. Goodbye. And then like got in my car and like drove home drunk because that was a weird situation to be in. And I just like didn't know how to react and reminded me of being, you know, 17 again and being around a guy who was older and who knew more than me and who could manipulate the situation to get what he want, where it was like, I didn't even know what I didn't know because I didn't even know how badly I didn't want that until after it had happened. And then I felt so gross and was kind of like, ew, we kissed. I don't even like you. I don't even like you. And now I like sit here and openly have sex with people I don't like because I'm just dead inside. Cool. God, there's more to this, but it's not like I'm tired, but I'm like sick of this already. I don't even like podcasting. No, I'm just kidding. It's like you can't hold anyone to anything that they say ever. because everything's changing constantly, all the time. Your opinion is evolving, your self is evolving, your cells are evolving, and we don't have enough room in our mental bandwidth to let people change, because that's really hard, because it's so hard to change ourselves, even though we're constantly changing, even though the only thing that is constant is change, because that's so hard for us to accept and deal with and sort of embrace. It's hard to deal with other people when they're changing. So I'm changing minute by minute, where I'm sitting here and I would like to get this work done, because I have to give Dean his equipment back, and I have to get this email to Danny so that he can edit it, so that the next couple of weeks can go by and I can be in the mountains and you can be listening to this and I'm still here with you. It's like I right now am hiking while you're listening to this, but me right now is 3:00 in the morning trying to record as many episodes as I can before I have to go to Florida for the funeral that should have happened 5 months ago. Oh my God, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't like my life. Shout out to the Lifted brand cartridges for sponsoring this episode. Also returning sponsor is Rise Dispensaries, courtesy of Jamie Johnson, Rise and Niles. Rise Dispensary in Niles, Illinois. Go there. Go there. That's the ad. That's the whole ad. Rise in Niles, Illinois. Go there. Why don't I have more sponsors? You know what I'm saying? Actually, part of success is a lie, and fame is bad. But money is evil. Oh, capitalism is the enemy. So what am I doing? What is the point of this? What is the point of this? What is the point of this? If I want to dismantle the patriarchy and capitalism and the systems of oppression that currently exist that harm people and children and the world and the environment, it's what am I doing this for? So I can get me a MeUndies sponsorship, so fucking HelloFresh can give you guys a discount code that you don't want, what? Emily, no, I'm just kidding. It is going to get weirder now that I'm alone. But I think that's good for us. I think that's good for both of us. I could be doing this podcast naked. You don't even know. I guess you'd never know though, right? I think this is a good episode. I feel good about this, actually. I need to stop hurting myself. I wish I had a good game plan for that. So my third mic was at this place called Cole's, which is sort of a famous comedy open mic bar in the city. They host an open mic that is famous for comedy in the city. And my third open mic is there. And I sign up and you have to wait. You have to literally get there at 4 p.m. and then you get to go on stage at 1 a.m. And if you leave, you lose your spot. So, you know what I mean? Definitely not fascism at all. Really cool and fun. Do comedy. Right? And it's I didn't know anyone except that one guy that I met at the bar that, second night that I went to the wrong place. And now it's my third night and I met Dean. Hi. Hey, shout out Dean. Dean, whose equipment I'm using right now to record this podcast and who I love deeply. I met him on my third night doing comedy and whose mother I text regularly. Shout out Jen. Dude, I love Jen so much. Jen's a real one. Anyways, I met Dean and I was waiting my turn and it was kind of late. And guess who walks into the bar but Hannibal Buress? So I'm just like, okay, this is my third open mic. Hannibal Buress is here. Obviously, I'm going to be a famous comedian any day now. Like, that's literally what I thought. Because why wouldn't I think that? You know what I mean? Because I'm stupid. Because I'm a stupid fucking idiot, loser, asshole, just like every other comedian to ever exist. I'm not better than them. And that's the problem, you know? It's like I suck. That's why I do comedy, is because I fucking suck. And like I have to trick people into liking me with my words, you know? Has it worked? Did it work? You guys? Did it work? So Hannibal Buress comes in, and like the few people I was sitting with was like, Hannibal Buress, Hannibal, oh my God, Hannibal Buress is here. Oh my God, Hannibal Buress is here. Hannibal Buress is here. And we're all just like, you know what I mean, giddy and acting like a big bunch of losers. Like a cool senior just walked in and we were like these loser freshmen that have never seen like a real live boy before. And he came in and he stood at the bar and he had headphones in and he talked to the hosts. And then obviously he got bumped and he like went next. So like this one girl who I had been talking to, because she was like one of the only people that would talk to me. She was like this 40-year-old woman who was like a total space cadet and such a fucking weirdo, but like really, really friendly and nice, because I'm sure no one else like wanted to talk to her, because you don't know this when you start, but it's like everyone is judging everything that you do just to see like how many cool points you can earn right off the bat. And you either fucking, you know, fly or fall. Like there is no in between. Like nobody's floating. You know, you're either immediately branded as like a loser, or you're accepted by the cool crowd, and then you don't even have to be good at comedy. You don't even have to write jokes. You don't, I mean, like literally, you don't even have to write jokes. You can just go up there and like talk about your day and how you got on a plane and like you almost missed it. And then everyone's like, ha 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 ha, because they like think that they're supposed to laugh. Like comedy is actually like a trick. If you don't know that by now, it's a trick. It's a trick. We're just tricking you. We're tricking all of you because you're so stupid, but we're dumber because we're doing it. Because we need to trick people because we're bad. Do you get it? So Hannibal went up and, you know, I had already bragged to like the 4 friends that I talked to regularly that I like was doing comedy. And I just got so, I don't know, like starstruck and excited and just, I was swollen with pride at the fact that I was in the same place as this famous comedian that I liked and respected and thought was smart and funny and cool and successful. And I was just like, okay, dude, like I just started and I made it. I fucking made it, bro. Like what? I just made it. Like how did I just make it on my 3rd night? Like that's what I felt by seeing him. And so I take out my phone and I go to snap a little pic just so I can send it to like a group chat of like 3 people, like literally the group chat with me and 3 other people who don't talk to me anymore, by the way. Shout out Hannah, Brady, and AJ. What's up? And Hannibal heckled me from stage for taking his photo. I think maybe he thought I was going to try and record his set, which I didn't even know was like a cardinal sin at that point at an open mic for like a comedian like him. Like I didn't know that that was like probably the biggest loser, fucking idiot, asshole, douchebag, moron, psycho, bad. That's bad. That's like, it's so gauche. You don't behave like that. Oh my God. I didn't know that though. I didn't know. I didn't know when I tried to take his picture. I did take his picture. I did take it. I wasn't trying to record his set. I didn't know that people did that and then put it on the internet before they could release a special. Like, it was my third night, you know, but Hannibal didn't know that I didn't know. And nobody else knew that I didn't know. No, only you know that I didn't know that. That's it. It's just our little secret. You know that I didn't know that, I mean, maybe I should have known, but I guess I'm just dumb though. You know how I'm just like a dumb bitch sometimes? Like, how is my IQ so high? I don't understand. How am I so dumb? And like also in Mensa. Someone explain it to me, please. Please? Write me an email? Nobody writes me emails anymore. In the DMs, we be popping. You know how to find me on the internet, but I'm just saying, like, I guess maybe it's because I don't ask. But did you know that I have an email? It's called thattimeigotarrested@gmail.com. Write me an email. Tell me what you had for lunch. I love you. So I took his pic. He heckled me. He was like, "What? You think I can't see you with your phone out because you got it angled like that?" And I was like, well, I wasn't trying to, I don't. And I couldn't say anything. And I put my phone down and I just looked embarrassed and we made eye contact. That means if Hannibal Buress sees me again for the next year and a half, he's going to think that I was that dumb bitch at Kohl's who would have recorded his set and put it on the internet. So immediately I am a loser. Thank you. Lahu Zaha. That is, that's my role, babe. And I just picked it up like it belonged to me, you know, like it was always meant to be. And it was, because I was just a fucking idiot. And then he did his set. And then like I didn't go up like after him. I went up much later. I had to sit there for maybe a couple like more hours, and I just got more tired and I was like, I have to get up like at 6 a.m. for work in the morning. So like I have to be at work at like 8 and I have to get up at 6 so I can like make a smoothie and make some tea and take 2 buses and a train and, you know, try to not be more than 15 minutes late. It's like, that's what I'm like thinking in my head. And then I have to like go on stage and I told some stupid joke about cocaine and parking tickets. And then Sarah Squirm made fun of me. And I was like, oh, so they're all bitches. Okay. Cool. Like I went up and did my set and then she went up right after me and then just like made fun of like every joke that I told. And I was like, oh man. And like she had seen the thing with Hannibal earlier. So like she knew I was a loser. So it was just easy. It was just easy. You know, easy to be. It's always easy to get made fun of. You know, it's easy to be the butt of the joke. I make fun of a lot of people on Instagram right now, mostly men, that are idiots. And they get so mad. Oh my God, they get so mad. Especially if I've had sex with them. Oh, they get so mad if I make fun of them. Oh man, can't take a joke at all. Oh, you mad? So mad. They get so mad though. For real, they get so mad. Oh man, they get so fucking mad and then they block me and then they call me a crazy bitch and then they talk about me in their little group chats and then people screenshot what they say and then they send it to me anonymously and then they watch my stories from private accounts and from show like pages that, you know, it's just, man, it's fucking weird out here. It's complicated. It is layered. There is nothing that a comedian likes to do more than gossip about other comedians. Yeah, that's why we all really do it, is because we're all just a bunch of little gossipy bitches. And we just want to talk shit about each other because we hate ourselves and we feel bad. And we've been programmed to think that that's the only way that we can feel good is if we make somebody else feel bad. So we sit around and we talk about how everyone else sucks and not us, but it's all them, you know, but everyone's saying it, you know, so it's just kind of funny. It's kind of sad. It's kind of pathetic, actually. We're all losers. And that's the other thing, too, is that most comedians will openly admit and just sort of cop to the fact that they are the loser, that they are actually the biggest loser. And that's why they try so hard. That's why it matters so much. That's why they work so hard to get good, to trick you into liking them, because they're such fucking losers that they can't just like do it naturally, you know? But whatever. Fucking who gives a fuck, honestly? None of this matters. Do you know that there are like kids being sex trafficked and that Black people die all the time by police, and that everything you've ever been told is a lie? So I don't know. Should comedy come back? Probably not. No, just kidding. But comedy is like, oh man, it is beautiful sometimes. Sometimes it is really beautiful because it is the only time that you have your phone down and you're really paying attention. It's the only time that we are gathered together in live groups, sitting around like we're at a campfire, and we're telling each other stories, and we're sharing ideas, and we're having thought experiments with each other. We're teaching each other how to think differently about the paradigm that we currently exist in. So it is actually, truthfully, so beautiful and special. And then to be able to laugh, to be able to get someone to involuntarily experience pure joy, that's magic. Oh, that's magic. And it is a trick. It is a trick. It's magic with words, because you have to put your words in just the right order, and you have to use just the right tone and just the right cadence, and you have to pace it correctly so that at the end of the story, there's this bang, and it's a left turn that you didn't expect, and you're like, what? That's hilarious. You know? That's what a good joke does. I mean, I hope that, like, especially if you listen to every episode, it's like, I hope I've made you laugh. You know what I mean? Like, I hope that some of this has been like a joyous experience, because I know a lot of what I do is just talk about how much everything sucks and how miserable I am. But like, I hope that through that, I've been able to trick you into believing that there is still happiness out there. Did it work? Wait, did it work? Did it? Anyone? It's like, it's really funny. I am pretending like I am like in a classroom right now when you're all hanging out with me. But it's like kindergarten though. Like, we're sitting on the floor and I've got a bong and we're gonna like finger paint later, and like snacks, nap time. Like, we can hug if you want. I think that's allowed. The teachers, I don't know. It's weird. Boundaries, right? What else? Oh man. I hate when comedians do that at open mics. Like, this is some inside baseball right here. But when a comedian is going through their set at an open mic, you know, normally they'll have like a few jokes they want to work on, or they'll have an order of jokes that they typically go from just to practice saying the words and getting the cadence and the timing right, and seeing if there's anything that they can hear that, you know, makes it sound better or different. And when they get lost, or they sort of aren't sure how to transition, or they're sort of out of material, they'll say, okay, what else? What else did I want to work on? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Ugh, it's driven me crazy for 3 fucking years to hear that. What else? What else? When I hosted an open mic later, much later in my comedy career, if you could even call it that, on Spotify. No, I made money doing comedy. People have paid me to tell jokes. Did you know that? One time I got paid like $60. I mean, basically, there's no difference between me and Chris Rock. So what I'm saying is, one time when I was a host of an open mic several years later, meaning like 1.5, I used to say that if a comedian says what else, he gets the light, which means his set's over, which is like a bitchy, mean-spirited sort of fascist, cruel way to go about it. But I felt like I had been greeted with a lot of that kind of energy. So I internalized that and then reciprocated it. So, it's like really funny because I have this like group of friends that are all hippies and do drugs and like love string cheese and go to festivals and like camping and hiking. And, they're not into social media and they don't care about like status. And those people I love so much and are so great and so beautiful and warm and lovely and like my people, and it's like, and they'll all like sit around a literal campfire and be like, you're so sweet. You're like the nicest person ever. I love you so much. And like, I have that group of people, and then it's like, there's a larger group of people consisting of like 300 to 700 human beings in the city of Chicago that will have some varying degree of opinion of me that is like from crazy psycho bitch to like rude cunt to just kind of like standoffish to stuck up, just so many things that I never thought that I was, but that I am. I am all those things. I became those things and I embodied those things and I am deeply those things sometimes in the right room. Comedy's fun. Okay. Do you feel like this is Danny, did we do enough time? How much time are we at? No, I'm just kidding. I can see it. Mm-hmm. I think I probably owe you more money for this one. Is how I feel right now. And, I'll just dealer's choice. Like, what of this you're going to like leave in and take out? I mean, do you think, Danny, this sounds better when it's messy and real? Or do you think it sounds better when it's cut up and I'm poised? What do you like listening to? I really want to know. Catch me on Instagram. Be Casper. I mean, like, what? Why am I here? Okay, love you. See you next week. Bye.